back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman from our studios in, we used to say downtown Lansing. Now we are at the Capital Region International Airport, right across from TSA, which somehow seems appropriate, I think. At any rate, we're going to talk with a one-of-a-kind Hilary Doe. She is the Chief Growth Officer at MEDC. Hilary, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Big announcement up at the policy conference about you coming on board. One of a kind because you are the first growth officer in the country.
That's right. Yeah. First in the state and first in any state, as far as we know, which is, really exciting and honestly a real honor.
Well, let's talk about that because you are so new. I'm pretty sure a lot of us don't know what you do.
Well, I can tell you a little bit what I was doing prior to this and also the current role, if that's of interest. So my background's in the policy space. I ran a national think tank for a long time, and I'm from Michigan originally. So I grew up downriver in Monroe County, two-time Wolverine. I went to undergrad and grad school at the University of Michigan, and then frankly spent a lot of my time running that think tank in New York City, so on the East Coast. And honestly, the whole time I was there, I was trying to get home. One of the facts about me that came out at the policy conference is that I tattooed both peninsulas on my left wrist. Thinking about, I can give you a special sneak preview, but also say, I used to joke that I wanted to have a little Michigan up my sleeve when I was away from home. But the truth is, Michigan's always been a real inspiration to me because of our history, our grit, and frankly, because of what I think is possible for the future. So after my stint running that think tank, I spent the last 10 years in tech as president of a software company. We were global, but doing a lot of work all over. And when I moved to Michigan in 2018, started hiring here as well. And, I'm part of the job that I've had for a long time is to make bets on good strategies, on great talent. And I made a bet on Michigan that I'm sure is right. So I'm feeling really, really good about being back here. And like I said, such an honor to be in this role. As Chief Growth Officer, the reason that the governor named this role, and it hasn't been named before, is I think really telling of her commitment to solving this big challenge that we're taking on here together, which is tackling population growth. So, lots of states are seeing the same challenge across the country, about 36% of states. And economists have been warning about this for a long time nationally, that it's a problem we have to fix. Population migration has been slowing down, and it's critical both for our state's growth, but also for the economy's growth more broadly. And right now, Michigan has an incredible opportunity to take on and be really spearheading and at the front of growth in some of our, transformational economic areas, including electric vehicles. And I was last night at a connected automated vehicle event. Detroit and Michigan have always, shaped the way people live and move. And we have a really chance to do that again, we need folks here to help us power. So I'm really focusing on retention of our existing folks, retention of our young graduates, making sure Michigan is a great place to live for all of our existing Michiganders, and also attracting new folks to come join our ranks.
So, one of the top two challenges for small business in particular, but all businesses in Michigan, is that talent gap. It's the biggest problem that they've confronted over the last 4 years. Yeah. And I would assume your growth relates kind of to placemaking. This is a great place to be, come back, et cetera.
Sure. Yeah, I think that there's actually kind of three strands of, opportunity for us here in Michigan, and arguably taken together, I think we're really singularly well positioned for the future and have a good chance at taking a swing at this in a way that, arguably we haven't for a long time and most states don't. And I think those three slices are: one, we have, as we all know, incredible cultural amenities and also, wonder of the world level natural beauty here in Michigan. And for folks like remote workers and folks who can choose where they're planning to start their businesses, for example, that really matters. We've seen that show up in population migration numbers for Colorado, for example. It's a real driver in this era. But it's not sufficient alone. That's why this role is meant to be really comprehensive. You also have to take that against, obviously, economic opportunity. And we're seeing lots of that economic opportunity I just named. In the EV space, for example, we've seen 16 billion in investment in the last 2 years, lots of really healthy growth there. And my colleagues at MEDC have done a lot of work to launch different programs over the last, even since the beginning of the year, that have, named Detroit the next Silicon Valley. So I think we have a lot of economic opportunity. And then the third, honestly, is some of the work that's happened over the last, 6 years that has made it really clear that Michigan's a welcoming place to do business. And that's really important for folks who are considering moving here. So I think taken together, we have a real chance to both retain the talent that we're producing here at world-class universities and also attract folks who really want to be in Michigan.
It's a funny thing. Sometimes I think we don't, as Michiganders, appreciate what we have here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had a lot of practice in making the case because I lived on the East Coast for so long and spent so much time in New York City. And people would hopefully lovingly tell me I was a walking pure Michigan commercial, but now I get to put that to work here at home.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Well, listen, continued good luck. It's very nice to meet you, and let us know what we can do here at the Michigan Business Network to help you. And then down the road, you and I are going to talk about how we go about getting immigration reform.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. I mean, obviously, like I said, one of the best things about this role is it's so comprehensive, and we want to have, really thoughtful conversations, lots of data, and make good choices here. So I'm excited to be in that with you.
Well, Hilary Doe, it's very good to meet you. Chief Growth Officer for the MEDC, first in the nation. We're looking for first of a time achievements from you. So thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
All right. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be right back with more.